For today's video, I'll discuss my first team for Supercoach 2022. So yeah, very exciting. The Supercoach picker is now open, a little earlier than expected, which is great. So if you've paid $25, you can access this. Otherwise, I think the free one should probably come out in about a month. So yeah, very exciting. I've got 3 weeks off work, so hopefully I don't spend 10 hours a day looking at my team, knowing that, 3 months, a lot will change till the season starts. I think it's about 3 months, but yeah, very exciting. And yeah, I'd love to share a few things, or love to speak about the team. So before that, feel free to join our Discord and like our Twitter page, Fantasy Take TV. That's our new podcast page, so that'll be fun. We'll be doing a podcast very soon, I think, maybe this week or next week. But yeah, it should be good. And yeah, Discord's the activity's already picked up this morning. Lots of people posting their teams, stuff like that. So feel free to join. But yes, the team, 40k in the bank for now, just gives a bit of flexibility, I guess. That will change for sure. So my defender line, only running 3 defenders. I like a few defender rookies, but again, we'll wait to see who actually plays. But yeah, Hall, Ridley, and Whitfield. The other one I like is Jake Lloyd. I actually called him a lock in a video I did a few days ago, but just the way the structure's worked out, I can't fit him at the moment. But I do love the Lloyd pick, and I will get him in if I can. But yeah, Aaron Hall, I think he'll be D1 for the year. His scoring power is just far too high. So I think you start him, and I'm not sure he had a bad game. I think he had one poor game last year out of 20. So yes, he seems too hard to pass up, and I think he'll get that role. And he's missed a lot of footy, so sort of finally found his role, found his niche, and played 20 games, which is good enough for me. I have Ridley as well, so I expect a slight increase in output with Ridley. With Ridley though, I still feel with Heppel and Hind back there. Even Hind started taking a few kickouts. Redmond can take a few kickouts, so his ceiling is a bit capped with those guys probably going 90 plus again. But I think he's pretty safe selection. Star player on the rise as well, so I like the Ridley pick. I like his price as well. I don't think you have to pick Ridley, but for his price, I like him. And here we go again. We have Lockie Whitfield at D3. So the only reason why Whitfield is here, well, I thought he would be mid only, but apparently not. But the DPP is really, really nice when upgrading, so you can swing him in the midfield. And his price is pretty good, so give him a full preseason. I'll pick Whitfield. So does cop a few injuries here and there. No soft tissue, which is the ones that I'm more concerned about. But give him a full preseason, I think he'll be a solid pick. And it's hard to see him not being top 6 if he stays fit. But that is the issue, if. So I like the Whitfield pick. And then the rookies are very much whatever. Lee Kalir, mature age defender. O'Driscoll, heard that he hired a personal trainer in the off-season, something like that. So apparently been working hard. Has some tough competition with the Freo mids, the young kids. Skinner's playing defence. And he might, I'm not sure he plays for Port, but I think he scored pretty well in the SNFL when he moved back there. De Koning is the replacement for Henderson, I believe. And Dean might play for Collingwood, key defender, I think. So not sure what the balance is back there, but possibly might get a game. Not too sure, but 102k, that'd be great if he does, but not sure on the scoring power of him. So the midfield, I just revealed this forward line, which I'll get to soon. Bit of a, we'll speak about that in a sec, but yeah. And then the midfield, I don't really see any reason to stuff around in the midfield this year. The only one, so I have McRae, Steele, Oliver, Mitchell, so I think both should be top 8 almost certainly. It's very hard to see them not being that. But yeah, McRae, 700. It's very expensive, but probably the best captain option. Not necessarily the best vice captain option, but when you don't know what to do with the captain, you just chuck it on McRae, and he won't let you down. So he's been doing this for 4 years of 120 plus, I think. Just crazy stuff. So McRae, lock him in. Yeah, I don't think you have to pick him, but I'd love to just not watch. I'd love to, I don't want to watch Dogs games and not own McRae. That would be too painful. Jack Steele, probably the best vice captain option, I think, and also good captain. Maybe slightly better than McRae, I'm not sure, but yeah, love Jack Steele. Tackles hard, really expensive. 685. That's a lot. So yeah, happy to have Steele. One thing to note is he does score better with Marshall in the team. I think Marshall was being eased into preseason because of his foot, which I thought was fixed. Apparently, not 100%. Not 100% sure on that, but I know that he's not in full training yet. So keep an eye on that. But, you'd expect Marshall to play round 1. If Marshall doesn't play round 1, I'd hate to skip Steele, but I think it's an option. But that's if he misses. So regardless, I love Jack Steele as a player, one of my favourites, so lock him in. And Clary at M3, it's Clayton Oliver. He's averaged 109 5 times, over 109 5 times, and he's 24. It's unheard of. So yeah, he's 24. Melbourne are the best team in the league, most likely this year. So it's hard to not pick Clayton Oliver. And then Tom Mitchell. I think Mitchell's a bit underpriced. Did not have a full preseason. Hasn't had a full preseason for 2 years, I believe. Now he will have a full preseason, or so far. So I don't see any reason why not to pick Tom Mitchell and why he can't continue his form in the back half of the year. Had a really poor start to the year and still had 25 Brownlow votes, so could win the Brownlow really. New coach, maybe. Not sure if that means anything for him, but I doubt it. So yeah, I'll lock in. Happy to pick Tom Mitchell. And then I have Lachie Neale. So I did a video the other day saying that I didn't want to pick Lachie Neale in the starting team. Wait till he has a full preseason. But I think pretty much I don't want to be that guy without Lachie Neale, and then he returns to 120, 115, 120 plus scoring. So with a full preseason, Neale's had basically in the past, 5-6 years, he's had 2 full preseasons, and both of those years he went 120 plus. So if he has it this year again, lock him in. But a little bit sus on the Neale pick just because of the sheer amount of injuries that he had last year. So, and it's more of a defensive pick because his ownership's so high. So it could hurt a lot when everyone has Neale and you don't, and he gets back to that form. So it's more to do with probably ownership, but he's a gun, Lachie Neale. So lock him in for now. But the moment something goes wrong with his preseason, he is out. So we'll see. A little bit light in the defender rookies, but we'll see how that works out. And then the mid-rookies. So the biggest lock is Finn McRae. And the Discord has been telling me to shut up every time I mention Finn McRae is going to average 100 like Jack did in his second year. So I'm not going to say it won't happen. It is probably unlikely that it happens because it's very unheard of for players to average 100 in their second season. Very rare. Walsh, Oliver, those sorts of players can do it. But I'm a big believer in Finn. Having a really good preseason so far. One of the standouts. So I will lock in Finn McRae, and if I need to find money somewhere, Finn is not the one that I will downgrade. So, big fan. Nick Dacos, 190k. Not too sure because he's playing halfback. I'm not sure he's played halfback in his draft here. I think he played all midfield. But a number 4 pick, a little bit slightly discounted on what we thought we'd pay for Nick Dacos. So, happy to pick Dacos for now. Over Horn Francis, who I think Dacos will have a slightly better role, or much better role actually, so we'll see how that goes. And then the rookies are very much whatever at this point. Greg Clark, mature age, he's an on-field option if they round 1. Carroll I thought was a small forward, but apparently he's mid-only, not sure. Stevens is taken at a decent pick for the Cats. So, been in the system 1 or 2 years, I can't remember, so maybe he gets a game. And Roberts is might be a fantasy stud for us in the future. But yeah, I think he had played 3 games in the SNFL under 18s and averaged 200. But in the SNFL, I think he had to play some sacrificial role or something. I read something about that. So we'll look more into that in the season. But seems like could be an on-field option, Roberts. So slid in the draft a bit. Was touted top 10, maybe top 5 at the start of the year. But wasn't to be. So we'll see how that goes. The ruck line will be interesting. I think Gawn is an okay option, but it seems like Jackson probably eats into his minutes even more, most likely. So yeah, Gawn's ceiling is just not what it was anymore, so it's hard to justify paying $650 for him, but Darcy went 130 after the bye, is a little injury prone, but he could very easily reach 700k in the first 4 or 5 weeks, so don't really want to miss out on that. And if something does go wrong, it's just a straight swap to anyone. No reason to stuff around in the rucks. Then Grundy, apparently he's having a great preseason, trying to get back to his best, he said. So good enough for me. Lock him in. I do like Oscar McInerney, who is much cheaper. But with the news, Darcy said that he's as fit as he's ever been, and Grundy's having a great preseason as well. It's hard to go past those two players for now. So we'll set and forget and no regret, like we did in 2019 when we picked Naismith. Or sorry, I think it was 2020 we picked Naismith. That was a bit of a shit show, so I don't really want to go through that again. Sam Hayes might play. There's other rucks, there's Bruce and Max Lynch, the 200k. Lynch seems capable, but I'm not sure how he goes with Reeves. And then Bruce, seriously, taking the piss picking that bloke. Yeah, I wouldn't even bother. I'll just start. If anyone tries to give me a case to start Bruce, I'll just start flaming you. So stop it, please. Now the forward line. Forward line's always very hard because there's a lot of options here. But you know, which ones do you start? Which ones are going to drop early? Which ones have a secure role? Not too sure. I picked Joshua Dunkley, one of my favourite players, one of the best contested players in the league. Hopefully he's completely over the shoulder because it didn't look like he was in the back half of last year. But with the full preseason, he could very much get to 650k like he was going to if he didn't get injured. So is a slight durability risk, I think. Just had 2 pretty bad incidents. No soft tissue or anything like that, but just, you know, collision sort of incidents. So yeah, unfortunate, but we'll pick Dunkley. And I have Heaney and Butters here. So you look Dunkley, Heaney, Butters, plus Darcy, throw in Neil, and Whitfield back here. The overall risk profile of the team is a little too high for my liking, but I'm just not sure who the alternatives are at this stage. So I have Isaac, Heaney. Oh, here we go again. So this will be a fun one if we do end up picking Heaney. And same with Butters. It's very simple. They are playing midfield this year. So far, they're having good preseasons. So if they have full preseasons and they're playing midfield, Butters is a little young, 21. Heaney's 25 now. And that's the thing with Heaney. Heaney will score if he plays. It's as simple as that. I don't have to worry about Heaney not scoring. Last year, he didn't train pretty much the entire year until the back half of the year. He had no training, barely trained in the preseason. Didn't train at all in the first half of the year. Was coming off a nasty ankle injury. Was limping during games because of that ankle injury. This year should be better, hopefully. So if he has a full preseason, which seems unlikely given his history, I'll pick him because he will score. And if he gets injured, whatever, I'll just have to trade him. But again, it's very much, I'm not sure on the alternatives. And then Zach Butters, he's a star player. He looks like he's possessed when he plays. I don't know when you look at him, but that's one observation I've noticed. But yeah, his first few games of 2021 were unbelievable, off the charts. So if he's playing full-time mid, he's a star player. All-Australian squad in his second year. A little bit iffy on this pick, to be honest, but has the role at this stage, which is the most important thing. So pick him for the time being, and is cheap. So, you know, if he does get injured, I expect him to make a bit of money at least. So just have to trade him out. But yeah, again, the forward line is just risks left, right, and center. And then Canelio, 260k, that's pretty free. So just lock him away. Keep an eye on him on the preseason still, but 260k will be highly owned and capable of a whole lot more than that price. So that's fine. And then the rookies are whatever, I'm not too sure. Eli Smith maybe was a bit of a myth of a pick this year in 2021. Hollands sounds like he's a lock. DPP as well, which is really nice. I think Gollant will play for the Crows, but I don't think he'll score much. And same with Convent. I think he'll play for North, but I don't think he'll score much. We'll just zoom out here. So that's for the first draft of the team. Overall, like 40k in the banks, it's nice. Just a bit of flexibility to play with for the time being. But yeah, a long way to go. But yeah, overall, I feel okay with the team. Don't think I'll play with it too much. So yeah, I think probably the most important line I think this year, I think it's the midfield, because it's trying to get the balance right. Because, you know, these, like Roberts could be a fieldable option. There could be a good fieldable options on the bench here. Even the defense rookies a little bit more dodgy, but not too sure. So over the preseason, I think it's very much about rookies. We have a lot of proven players to pick from, and then watching the health and the roles of the forward line. But yeah, the midfield balance is very important. Yeah, 5. On one hand, you don't want to go, you know, there's players like Jared Berry. If he gets a lot of CBAs, he might be hard to pass up in the preseason. But, you know, how can you fit these players in when, you know, you want to start these big dogs? Otherwise, they're just so hard to bring in, and you leave it to chance trying to bring in these players. Because I remember 2020, I didn't have Steele or Oliver. Steele broke out that year, and Oliver also went from, I don't know, 112 to 120 or whatnot. So I couldn't get them the entire year, even though it was a 17 round season. I never got these two. I didn't get the 2 of the top 4 mids the whole year. So secure them now, pay a little bit more, and then use them as captain options and sleep well. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Yeah, lots more to come, and it should be good. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.